All right, everybody. Good afternoon. It is time for the lunch break, and we're ready to get this thing started. So I'm glad y'all are with us on this Media Monday. I'm doing the show from a different location than the studio today, but that's okay. We got a lot for you today. Hopefully, have some special guests who will be joining us. So you just keep it right there on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM Conroe, Houston. Yeah, y'all, let's get ready to do this. All right.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's in the big
Hey, Keith.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the mind, the heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. It's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be here just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message.
Hey, Desiree.
It feels like. Oh my.
Hey, Napoleon, how you doing, man?
Don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Let's go. Let's go. By God, let's go.
We ready. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, this game is not over. In fact, it's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. Y'all know who I am. I'm AJ Jones, wherever I am. And we got a lot going on today. In fact, we just got word coming into the studio. That Dwayne Haskins, quarterback out of the Ohio State University, second-year player, who was one of the top picks by the Washington football team, has been let go. Dwayne Haskins has been let go. In fact, let me get to that breaking news. Hey, Sheila Henry. Hey, Nicholas Hines. Let me get to that breaking news as we speak. In fact, it just hit the wire. It's reported by Cassandra Negley of Yahoo Sports. She says Dwayne Haskins won't have another chance in Washington as the Washington football team released the quarterback on Monday. And there's a statement here. The move comes hours after Coach Ron Rivera said Taylor Heineke, and not Haskins will get the start if Alex Smith is still unable to play in the regular season finale. Smith has been dealing with a severe calf injury. And Rivera said, and I quote, "This afternoon I met with Dwayne and informed him that we would be releasing him. I told him that I believe it benefits both parties and that we go our separate ways. We want to thank Dwayne for his contribution these last two seasons and wish him well moving forward." So Haskins was the number 15 pick overall in the 2019 draft, started 13 games in less than two full seasons with the franchise. But the 23-year-old has been released and is now looking for another team. And chances of him finding another team between now and playoff time, I don't even know if that's possible. But I feel bad for the young man. Obviously, not a good ride there in Washington, especially given the previous regime and then Ron Rivera coming in with his folks, bringing with him Kyle Allen, and then of course Alex Smith got healthy and was able to play not so not so much concerned about them giving Alex Smith a shot. I mean, the young man was a starter in the league before that gruesome injury that he suffered, but is now out. So, again, if you're just joining us, Dwayne Haskin, number 15 pick in the 2019 draft out of the Ohio State, is out, has been released by the Washington football team. I don't think he's going to be out of work long. I just don't think there is anybody that can or will pick him up by the end of the season. I think he's going to be looking at finding another team in the offseason. And given what we've seen with some of these quarterbacks as either starters or backup, now I gotta give credit where credit is due. Mitchell Trubisky is playing better in Chicago. Mitchell Trubisky is playing better in Chicago, but do you bring a Dwayne Haskins in to challenge him? Why not? Why not? Nick Foles, is Nick Foles. Another place where there might be some synergy would be the Giants. I'm sorry, not the Giants, but the New York Jets. The New York Jets. Sam Darnold, obviously been playing better these last couple of weeks, but Sam Darnold has definitely not been setting the organization on fire. And if I'm not mistaken, they got Joe Flacco as their backup. So would not be a bad idea to bring in Dwayne Haskin in there. Another place that might be a good fit for him, and I'm getting these in now because CBS Sports and Pete Prisco and guys like that, young ladies like that, they always, the most logical spots for this player after being released, and then they come up with these spots. Let me get mine in. Keith, I was going there. I wasn't going there next, but I was going there. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Gardner Minshew, again, is not burning it up. The young man out of the rookie that they've got is not burning it up. And Mike Glennon certainly is not. So Dwayne Haskin can definitely come into that quarterback room. The Detroit Lions are another one. Again, Chase Daniel came in and replaced Matthew Stafford after his most recent injury. Chase played okay, but he's Chase Daniel. He's Chase Daniel. He's nobody saying we got to get Chase in here as our franchise quarterback. So there is another spot that Dwayne Haskin can get into. Here's one that folks are going to probably think that I'm a little crazy on, and that's the LA Rams. I'm sorry, the LA Rams would be a lot better team if Jared Goff wasn't their only option at quarterback. The LA Rams would be a lot better team if Jared Goff wasn't their only option at quarterback. So, that would be an organization that I would say should look at Dwayne Haskin. And then here's another one, the Philadelphia Eagles. And I say that because they're going to get rid of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is going to be somewhere else next season. Carson Wentz is not going to back up Jalen Hurts, nor is he even feeling like he should have to compete with Jalen Hurts. That's a whole nother sermon for another day. But if you get rid of Carson Wentz, there's nothing wrong with having Jalen Hurts and Dwayne Haskins as your guy. Todd, if you want to call in today, you got to call in on my cell. That number is 832-403-5005. 832-403-5005. If you want to call in today, and I'll take it off of Do Not Disturb so we can get some call-ins today. But yeah, if you want to call in, that's where you got to reach me today, and I'll get you on the broadcast that way. But again, so those are the places that I think would be reasonable fits for Dwayne Haskin to get in the room. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get on the field. He's going to have to earn that. And apparently that was part of the problem with the situation with him there. Okay, let me see. Todd, are you with us? All right, hang on. Let me get you on this. All right, go ahead, Todd.
Man, I want to call in. I want to talk about the Bucks and Carson Wentz.
Okay.
So, man, I think the Tom Brady experiments worked. I could say, they've clinched the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they're in the playoffs. Yeah, they are definitely a playoff team.
So I looked up yesterday. The Bucks hadn't made the playoffs since 2007. They got a chance if they get this last one against Atlanta, going 11-5. Man, that's a big improvement. To go 11-5 when they had an abbreviated training camp, no OTAs, right?
Right.
Trying to get that receiving core together, which is not easy. I mean, you got to keep in mind, Tom Brady left the system that he had been running for 20 years, came to a totally new system with Bruce Arians, which runs an offense that is completely opposite of what he'd been running.
Yep.
And did not have a whole lot of time. I remember the first game of the season when the Bucks got destroyed by the Saints, and people were all panicking. Tom Brady's washed; he can't play. I was like, man, we're not comparing apples and apples. The Saints, that core of the Saints, have been together for years,
right?
Right. So it doesn't. The COVID didn't hurt them as much because they already had that continuity together. But no, for the Bucks to go 11-5. If they can finish off Atlanta in that last game, which I think they can, man, that's a big success, in my opinion, no matter what they do in the playoffs.
No, I'm going to agree with you, Todd, 100%. For those who were, Tom Brady was washed and, there's nothing left and his arm is shot and all that, they got to come back and apologize. They absolutely have to come back and apologize. But you got to understand, man, Tom Brady went into a situation with a lot of talent around him. So, not saying that he was the difference. I think he was the piece that fit. You know what I mean? You got part of the puzzle, you put that last piece in, and now you can tell what it is.
Well, I'll give an example of sometimes how talent can get you over. Remember when the Browns threw all that talent together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Remember when Vince Young called the Eagles the dream team? And I think they barely finished 500 that year.
Yeah, barely finished 500. I mean, so sometimes that talent without the chemistry and the continuity, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Right.
But man, I give credit to the Bucks, man. They made, and this is nothing. I'm not throwing shade on Jameis. I think Jameis is going to get his chance again somewhere down the road. I think it just speaks to just how even though Tom Brady's not elite anymore, he's still really good.
Yeah. No. Todd, hear me when I say, Tom Brady is still elite mentally. His football IQ is still higher than most will ever be. You add with that what talent he has left, and it's like Michael Jordan changing his game from being a power game to what it became. Kobe Bryant from changing his game from what it was to what it became. The really good ones who have that IQ that's off the chart. Those are the ones like Rashawn Welch just said, he's a winner. Those are the ones that find a way to win, even when they can't do it the way they used to do it. Tom Brady's definitely that.
And I think even though with the quarterback changing in the NFL, where it's becoming more athletic, more dynamic, where they can do more things outside of the pocket, I still believe you still got to be able to make those clutch throws in the pocket at some point in the game, and he can still do that.
I agree. Because let me tell you something. I tweeted out that his arm didn't look like it was 60 years old this week. He had 4 touchdown passes, and 3 of them had a lot of zip on them.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get. That's why I'll post on Twitter, like people in the media. You got to leave your personal. I think Ryan Leaf quoted something yesterday. He was saying, I think he said Tom Brady was like a year younger than him, and he remembers his last year at Washington State. This is Ryan Leaf, that is. Tom Brady was still over there, Michigan sideline. He was like, Tom Brady just threw 4 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, that just puts in perspective of just how unbelievable really what it is, because when Tom Brady does retire, which is probably next year because it's just a 2-year deal in Tampa Bay, man, I hope people can appreciate just kind of I don't know if I've ever seen another guy love just the process of the game as much as he has. Shannon Sharp says a lot on his show. The reason he retired wasn't because he couldn't physically do it anymore. He just got tired of all the meetings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just the training of it. It just wore him down. And so to have someone at that age still want to go through the monotony of it, which is very monotonous, of the daily meetings, the watching of the film, always trying to keep your body. in peak performance. With Andrew Luck said, "Man, I'm tired of the rehab.
Right.
I'm done. You know, I can't do it. It's just I feel like I'm rehabbing all year."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's remarkable, man. I don't know if we'll ever see something, quite like that again.
No, I got to tell you, man, I am impressed with the Tom Brady's of the world, and I'm going to throw this name in there, LeBron James of the world, who can go from being the guy in one city for so long, and then go and duplicate that in a whole nother town. And when I look at what Tom has done, and of all places, Tampa Bay, which is not, a place where you would say they've been a football haven. Yeah, they had the great seasons under Dungy. They had the one great season under Gruden. See what I did there? And then they had, a couple of, all right, they're on their way kind of seasons. But for Tom Brady to do what he did, along with the other guys now, because like I say, it's definitely been a team effort. Because let me tell you, one of the quiet unsung heroes has been Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette might not have the volume and been the workhorse that he was in Jacksonville, but his per yard average on carries has been significant to the point where you've got to respect the run. And then, man, let me tell you, that pass that Brady made to Antonio Brown, and Antonio caught that bullet and pulled that thing in with somebody hanging all over him. Let me tell you something, man. Michael Evans, the other guys have been just what the Bucs needed, and the defense has been good enough to kind of hold them in there. They're going to be a playoff team. That's good. They can't knock it.
Like I said, 13-year drought. It reminds me when LeBron came to the Lakers, right?
Yep.
The Lakers have been bad from 2000. What was it? 2012. I think that was their last playoff win. Was like 2012. Till LeBron got there, and I don't count that first year because he pulled that groin.
Right.
And, he never really was the same. But to put that team on his back and win that, there's only very few guys that have the ability to do that. So I also want to talk about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I've been on the record on your show. I'm not a fan, right?
Right.
We talked about this months ago. He's just not that good. He thinks he's really good.
Yep.
But he's got some things I think fundamentally you can't fix. Like in coaching, you can't fix everything. I can't turn every basketball player into Steph Curry shooting threes, no matter how much I work with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just some things in the pocket, his pocket awareness, that clock they talk about, when you're supposed to get rid of the ball, he holds on to the ball forever. He just doesn't seem like he has really good awareness when he's throwing the football, and he's extremely inaccurate. But I think the Eagles made a mistake that the Bucs and the Titans did not, right?
Yeah.
So the Titans and the Bucs said, you know what, we're going to hold off on extending Jameis and Mariota, right? Let's just see a little bit more, right? Sometimes that can backfire because in that last year, if they have a huge year, then you got to pay them like a Joe Flacco deal, right?
Right.
And then you're like, man, why did we do this? But in Carson's case, I don't think it's a change of scenery type thing where he could go from, the Eagles to the Jets and he's going to start killing it. I just don't think he's that good of a quarterback, and I think there's a lot of things you just can't fix.
Yeah. No, I agree. Todd, I'm going to talk about Carson at length. I got my special guest that's ready to come on. Let me take a quick break, and then I'll be talking about him later in the show. Man, also I'm going to talk about the UT Longhorns and these bowl games. So if you hear something you want to jump back in on, don't hesitate to call back.
Okay. Appreciate it, AJ. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Always good to hear from Todd Malcolm. Probably going to be the caller of the year for 2021. He's off to a good start. Okay, let me do this. Let me get a quick break in, and we'll hear from Lily and the tax doctor right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. And then when I come back, I'll have my special guest on to kind of talk about, holiday depression and how we can get through it, especially with this Rona thing going on. We'll do all that next right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We'll be right back.
My name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle they never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like a gazillion dollars, and they didn't have a gazillion dollars. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the tax doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-605-1681. 800-605-1681. That's 800-605-1681.
We need to be mindful of everyone's health and safety when planning family gatherings. Make a plan and share it with your guests. Get tested at one of the many free testing sites within the city. Continue to be vigilant. Wear your mask, wash your hands frequently, and social distance so you can enjoy your time together with peace of mind. Protecting our loved ones is the most important thing for all of us. Mask up, Houston. We're better together.
You're listening to The Lunch Break with AJ on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
Y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, having a good time, and I got one of the dearest friends I can have. It's none other than, I always want to call her Dr. Janae Tidwell, but she won't let me do that. So,
Because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, but still, just stop it. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? You help people as if you were a doctor. And Janae Tidwell is an LPC-S. Janae, tell us what all those letters mean, please.
Licensed professional counselor supervisor.
Okay, so that means you supervise people who are licensed professional counselors?
I supervise people who wish to become licensed professional counselors and help them in order for them to become fully licensed. So I'm fully licensed myself, and then I make other fully licensed people.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year. It's that time of year. We, had Thanksgiving for the most part.
Yep.
Folks do that okay. We had Christmas, and I know that was a lot of stress for a lot of people because that's gift buying. That's traditions. We had more people travel this Christmas year than ever before. Normally, Thanksgiving is the busiest time. I think they said yesterday was the busiest travel day of the year because people were just tired. They just couldn't stay cooped up and quarantined and isolated any longer. Talk to us, if you will, about not just holiday depression, but this holiday stuff we got going on with COVID-19 and everything else.
Yeah, definitely so. It's an extra layer of stress that people are dealing with. Just like you said, we've been cooped up. We've got COVID fatigue. We've all heard that phrase used a couple of times now. And when you don't get to, utilize what I call our normal coping skills, getting together with friends, going out to eat, maybe having a nightcap or a happy hour, right, with people. We don't get to do those things. I'm not going to the park. I'm not doing my retail therapy, as some of us females like to do sometimes. I've lost all my normal stuff. My stress levels are already then higher than normally anticipated they would be, right? And then we put what we call holiday blues in my field of work on top of it. And holiday blues is not just a cute term, it's a real thing, right, that we can diagnose kind of people with. And it's a form of anxiety and or depression, but it's centered around this time of year, a little bit before Thanksgiving, all the way to a little bit after New Year's. People tend to have more anxiety, more depression during this time. And I think the stats say about 64% of people say they're affected by the holiday blues, and 24 of that 64% say it affects them so much that either they're taking medication or they're seeking additional counseling because of these symptoms. So I think everybody probably had a little bit of a heightened holiday blues. Even if I didn't have it before, DSU, I probably felt some stuff because I was already on COVID 10, right? I was
Yeah.
already on 10 because of COVID fatigue and all that has happened. So it's a real thing and has affected a lot of people immensely this particular 2020 holiday season.
And we got Janae Tidwell joining us from a couple of different companies. You're representing who today? Fowler and Tidwell.
Yeah,
Tidwell.
I call myself a mental health entrepreneur. I do have two clinics here in the Houston area, Fowler and Tidwell Counseling, and then the Hartwell Clinic. And then there's also a consulting firm that I am part owner of, Be Well Health Resources. So yeah, I'm often busy, but let's just say I'm representing them all today. I'm a trifecta of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull you into our genre for a second. I didn't realize that sports fans kind of deal with the holiday blues with some of the different sporting events that go around that. So, you got Thanksgiving Day football, usually 3 or 4 games, Christmas Day basketball, 3 or 4 games, and then you got these crazy behind bowl games all throughout. And it's kind of like these this year have been thrown together. NFL, NBA,
Mm.
they're legit, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4 win bowl teams that are playing, and it's just like not the same. So what happens when your normal routine is not the same? And unbeknownst to some of us, that was our bridge, if you will, or crutch, if you will, to get through the holiday blues.
Absolutely. That was the coping skill I was mentioning before, right? That was the happy hour or the bars coming together socially, the clubs, whatever the case. And so it can absolutely put a damper on, and I say damper lightly, right? It can put a damper on people. It can cause the sleep issues. It can cause the loneliness issues. It can cause the fatigue or the lack of motivation. It doesn't feel the same. That's what you continue to hear people say about the holidays. This one just didn't feel the same. And so when you lose that level of excitement, that level of joy that you look forward to, you're going to grieve it, right? You're going to have moments where you feel kind of grief like symptoms, where you're sad, where you're tired, where you're more moody or irritable. And that's a real thing for people who are truly sports lovers and they've lost something that they love. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, and I myself, David Grubb, we've made it no shame to admit. I mean, I've been taking the gummies for stress release. There's some CBD products that help with stress and what have you. My sleep rhythms have been off. I'll find myself very, very tired, but yet I'm just laying there. I can't quite go to sleep. So now I'm watching a bunch of B-rated movies. The most boring movie I can find. So hopefully it's gonna put me to sleep. But then I pass that point of no return where I gotta stay up and see how this craziness ends. So what should people do when they're kind of going through or noticing symptoms like that? And
Absolutely. So
and better yet, what are some of those symptoms?
oh, yeah. Okay. So I listed a few of them before, but you were right on it. It's the sleeplessness, it's the fatigue that you're feeling in your body. There could be more tension, muscle tightness, things of that nature. A sense of isolation or loneliness, sadness, a sense of loss. When you begin to pull away from people when you normally would be very social, right? Racing thoughts that you can't get to steam your brain. You can't turn your brain off. It won't kind of settle down like it's supposed to, and then changes in your appetite. If you eat a lot, you'll maybe eat less, or if you tend to not eat so much, you may eat more, right?
Right.
It can just flux. So all of those could be signs or symptoms that you are experiencing some of this holiday blues. And so what do you do, right? Like, okay, Janae, you checked off a couple symptoms. I hear myself in these lists. What do you do about it? One, try to stick to a normal routine as much as possible. Our brains love routine. Our muscles don't, right? We always want to change up the workout in order for the muscles to keep growing, but our brains love routine. So stick to the routine as much as possible. Eat and drink in moderation, and what I mean by that is like don't overindulge in the sugaries, the alcohols, all of those things. They make it worse. They make those symptoms worse, as our host just sipped, I'm assuming, some coffee. We're going to say it was coffee in that mug there, host AJ. Um,
It was cinnamon latte.
okay, well, the cinnamon was
It's in my new KYOK sports cup. got the radio station at KYK Sports on.
Look,
But the latte just tastes better in this cup. And
that I will just say that caffeine, if you overindulge, right? If you overindulge in the caffeine, you're overindulge in the alcohol, you overindulge in the sweets and the heavy pies and sugars. Those things will cause your symptoms to get worse. Um, so just be careful about those holiday cinnamon rolls and sugar cookies and such. Be careful about those.
they're over there. They're right there. They're right there. And it's just, so it's not like somebody's gonna eat them. And I do not like to waste food, so they're right there. All joking aside, we've got Janae Tidwell joining us. She's an LPCS. Um, and she's helping us with these holiday blues. T Barnes said, "Yeah, it was a little tough on me this year, and I'm one of those ones who doesn't struggle with this." Keith Hennig was talking about all the people that went through the airport. He said 3 million people flew through American airports yesterday. January is not going to be good in reference to COVID-19 and things like that. But I mean, just listening to some of the interviews, people are like, I had to get out. I had to go. Just had to.
Yep, absolutely. We all have COVID fatigue. We're meant to move, right? Humans, we're meant to move and get around. Our bodies love when we do that. It may fight us at first, right? But again, if you get in that rhythm, it really enjoys that. So the fact that we have had to sit still for like 10 months now, um, we're itching, like fiend itching, right? To get out and to just be with people. And because we're meant to be social creatures. So it is this tug of war internally of be safe, be secure, try not to expose yourself versus do what human nature calls for us to do, which is be social, be with people, move around, do those things. It's hard. It's difficult. I myself struggled this year in wanting to do more and had to remind myself to sit down somewhere.
Yeah. So again, Janae Tidwell joining us to kind of help with some of the holiday blues and holiday depression, what have you. Janae, what are some of the things that we could or should be doing as alternatives to allowing this to overtake us? What are some of the things that we can do either in our own home or in our own neighborhoods and communities?
Absolutely so. So one thing we talked about, making sure you get enough sleep. If sleep has become a difficult thing, speak to your doctor, speak to some people who've got some knowledge. There are some over-the-counter things that can be helpful, some very natural things that can be helpful when it comes to sleep. Making sure you're getting that. Eating and drinking in moderation, as I mentioned. Moving, getting exercise, right? You don't have to go to the gym. You could take a walk. You could do something in your home. Keep it simple, right? But make sure you're doing something daily if you can. The recommended amount of movement is only 22 minutes per day, right? People think you got to go hard and do all of this, right? But really, it's only 22 minutes. And the beautiful thing of that is that you can break it up. Do 10 minutes here, do 12 minutes there. As long as you get 22 minutes of heart pumping movement, doesn't have to be marathon. It can just elevate it a little bit. That does immense things for our mental and emotional health, right? And then make sure you've got things that you can enjoy in the safety of your home. If that's, candles, bubble baths, you got your whatever sensory things, your pets nearby, right? Things that you can touch, taste, see, smell, and hear, right? That if you experience and they bring about a sense of joy and happiness for you, have those around, use them to the fullest, right? Those are things that are going to help us to kind of get through this COVID fatigue and hopefully get on the other side where we can begin to do those things we used to do for enjoyment again.
We got Janae Tidwell from Fowler and Tidwell and also the Hartwell Clinic joining us here on the lunch break. Keith Hennig says, I do not have a medical background, but my solution for depression is to simply get a dog. And you just mentioned that there are folks that kind of connect with their animals. What about the video chatting and all of that? Some people are starting to say that helps them, but then there are other people that says that kind of solidifies the depression for them. What's your thought on that, and what's the right amount of that?
Absolutely so. So I think making sure we continue to connect with people however we can, I think is important, right? So if you're a phone person, if you're a video person, the key is just don't isolate. Find a way that you need to connect with folks that will allow you to still feel that social interpersonal interaction, right? So if you can get on another Zoom call, do it, right? If you need to FaceTime, do it, right? But if you just need a telephone call, if you old school, even if you want to go real old school and get you a pen pal, there's
Wow.
something about the anticipation of the letter coming, right? The excitement, knowing something's coming in the mail. You guys remember that? I remember having the pen pal in third grade and was super excited every Friday because that's when the teacher was going to pass out the letters, right? Um, get that. Do those things to stay connected, whatever it may be. Um, our screen time has gone up as a society and as a country as a whole because of the pandemic. So we want to be mindful of that. But I think you having those interpersonal connections is more vastly important than all the blue light we may be exposing ourselves to because we're looking at screens all day. So,
Yeah, I know on the national news they talked about a nursing home that some young people, kindergartners, had made their pen pals, and man, the just the connection between both those groups was amazing. Was it was just unbelievable. Like you said, I can't remember the last time I went to the mailbox looking for a letter versus something else, that I had to do something about. So but no, I think those are great ideas. T. Barnes said I use all those tools. I'm an author, and I'm part of a publishing family. And somebody was talking about how they switched from their Kindle or their tablet to actually turning pages, and how just turning the page and holding the book brought kind of sense of normalcy back to them, took them back to how much they love to read versus just look at a screen and swipe. So little things like that. What does that do to the mind and do to
mhm.
your mental?
Absolutely. So we talked about having those coping skills that we experience, right? And so you're naming all of those things, AJ. You have the book in your hand, you feel it, right? You turn the page, you feel that, you hear the crinkle, you know what I mean, of the paper.
Yeah.
There's a certain sense of nostalgia because you're experiencing the book, you're seeing the words on the paper, and even this seeing the page turn and seeing how those pages start to stack up, which means I'm getting closer and closer
Right.
to finishing, right? The anticipation of that,
Yeah.
we miss all of that when I just swipe it, right? So finding those things that you really experience that really get into your senses, that those five senses I talked about, all of those things really stimulate the brain in different ways and in different areas. And by doing so, lighting up some things that have not maybe been lit up neurologically in a while. And that makes us feel alive. That makes us kind of have some things released in our brain that don't normally maybe get released by being on the road or looking at a television or looking at our tablets or our phones. We experience it as a thing, right, to do, and that truly helps us feel more human in nature.
I've got a text that came in, and if you want to text in, you can 832-403-5005, or you can even call 832-403-5005. This one is from an 832-537 number. They said, I have a fear of going outside because of COVID, and I'm also feeling trapped inside. What should I do?
Yeah. And again, I so appreciate the anxiety maybe felt regarding, the COVID. And we are calling it now, there's a medical anxiety, essentially is what we're talking about, the fear of something medical happening to me because I did this or I did not do that. And so I would definitely suggest that that person seek professional help. The beautiful thing about COVID, if there's only maybe one positive, it's that we have become very smart and creative as to how we now give professional medical help, right? Telehealth is now the thing. Everybody can get to a professional if they need to. And this is something that I would say is kind of bigger than I'm a white knuckle it and I'm going to just get through it. It's bigger than that. Get this professional help that you need. Even now, with some people are discounting their services because of COVID. So there's pro bono stuff out there. There's low cost stuff out there. And those who have insurance, there's a lot of telehealth sessions that are now completely being waived for copays for
Oh, wow.
individuals, right? So I know Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, certain plans are saying, hey, if you use telehealth right now, we're going to waive all the copays, and you don't have any cost as the consumer. Now you don't have to pay your doctor for that copay, and the doctor still gets paid, and everything is straight. But if there's fear to go out and feeling claustrophobic by staying in, your brain is doesn't know how to do that, and you're going to need some professional help to kind of get through that. It's more than what we could kind of do in our small segment here, but I'll say get some help. Get some
Absolutely.
help to get through that.
I need to call my therapist because I don't think she waving nothing. I feel like she double. Like, it's COVID right now, so I need you to pay a little bit more than what you used to pay. Right after this break. We got one more. In fact, this person thanked us for bringing you back on. 346-684 said, I was hoping, and they said Dr. Tidwell. I was hoping Dr. Tidwell would come back on. My question is this. If I am an introvert, but I know I need to get out and get sun, and then I think spell checker got him, but what's the safest way to do that?
So honestly, go for a walk in your neighborhood or go to a park, not a big, fancy schmancy park where it's going to be a lot of people, right? Like one of your little neighborhood parks, right? And just sit on the bench, take a magazine or a book. But being outside and being in the sun, you can even do this in your backyard if you've got a small backyard, but it's truly just being outside and experiencing nature, feeling the sun hit your skin, letting your skin do what it does to generate some of that vitamin D, getting the light to come through your eyes, that sunlight. So, I know we all want to look cool with our shades on, but take your shades off for a second. Let some of that sunlight get into your eyeballs. It does an amazing thing for your brain, getting you to stimulate your brain and say, hey, it's awake, I'm alive, and it's daylight, so I'm supposed to be moving and grooving. And then you're moving around, even a slow pace walk. While you're outside does something for you. So you don't need to be with people. It doesn't have to be all extra movie-esque. It could truly just be a pace in a circle around your backyard or at the little small local park that is going to really do a difference.
Real quick, Todd Malcolm says, I'm an outside for a walk every day. I go outside for a walk every day of my mental health. And then he said he's been working on his Kappa shimmy outside. So
come on now. Come on. I'm feeling it. Feeling the pretty on the left and the right.
Because this person is probably near and dear to your heart. Donna Tidwell said, I'm an avid reader, and I find that this helps me feel more connected to a normal time in my life.
Well, thank you so much, Mom, for weighing in. Thank you there.
All right, we got to get ready to go. But Janab, appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to drop by the lunch break and help us sports aficionados out with how we can cope through, this deal. There's a bunch of Cleveland Browns fans up in that area that are heartbroken because they might miss the playoffs. A bunch of Philadelphia Eagle fans depressed because their quarterback sucks. They just got a lot of, Dwayne Haskins don't have a job. How you get fired with 1 day left? Like 1 day left for payday, you get fired. It's a lot of depression out there, Janae. So tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
Absolutely. So Fowler and Tidwell Counseling, you can definitely find us online, www.fowlerandtidwell.com. We're also on Instagram and on Facebook at Fowler and Tidwell. The Hartwell Clinic, that is the holistic mental health practice that I have. Again, we are online, thehartwellclinic.com. And you can also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, The Hartwell Clinic. And then finally, if you need some consulting, which some of the people sound like they may, then you can hit up Be Well Health Resources. That's my holistic health consulting firm for the organizations out there. And we are also online, BeWellHealthResources.com, and social media, both Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Be Well at Be Well Health Resources. So find us and follow.
What y'all doing on Instagram? Y'all showing some people that just don't look well? What are y'all doing on Instagram?
No, we're giving inspirational messages through pictures and quotes and all of that good stuff. Hey, you got to give it where the people are, AJ. You can't leave them out.
Don't, it's Monday. I'm still locked in Friday or Saturday. It's been a tough week. So don't mind me. Look, if I slide in on Instagram and my name is BJ Bones, don't say I look like somebody you know.
Not not gonna touch it. I'm gonna just leave it right there. How about that?
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us here on the lunch break.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
All right, you too, y'all. That's good information, and y'all have to follow them. Y'all got to get in touch with them. If you feel like you're having holiday blues, you don't have to go through that by yourself. You don't have to go through that by yourself. There's help out there. I wanted to bring her in last week before Christmas, and it just didn't happen. But there's still time. I mean, there's folks that are still feeling it. In fact, folks trying to get out of 2020 into 2021 is like a bridge too far. It's like trying to, broad jump the Grand Canyon. So I'm going to continue to bring in resources that will help people make it. That's one thing that I believe about the lunch break, that we want to always bring stuff that's helpful to people. So for the Janae Tidwells out there, for my own therapist, Christina Jackson, how you doing, Christina? I appreciate it. And Christina, you should be. I shouldn't be paying some of them extra fees you charging me. But anyway, I digress. Seriously, don't try to do this by yourself. Like Janae said, you don't have to white knuckle this. You can get help and you can get through it. Okay. All right. Let me take a break. We'll come back. We've got the care team bringing us this segment. If you don't have health insurance and you need it, I've got some people who can help you. Call them and find out what you qualify for. 281 990 1377. That's 281 990 1377. And tell them you heard it on KYOK with AJ and the lunch break. Here's Margaret.
Hello, my name is Margaret, and I'm not a paid actor. I'm simply a very satisfied customer that has received good advice from the care team insurance. Without the help from the care team, we would not have had health insurance. The care team has saved my daughter's life.
This is one of the many great results of Care Team's efforts. Don't get caught with bad or no insurance at all. Let Care Team assist you with our free enrollment assistance program. Call now. 281-990-1377. There are over 13 million people without medical insurance that should qualify for plans starting at $0 to $50 per month. Care Team has helped thousands of people just like you. This is AJ Jones, and KYOK listeners, I want you to call now and see what you qualify for at 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377, or visit careteamcares.com.
All right, again, if you need medical insurance, the care team is the place to be. Again, the care team, careteamcares.com. That's careteamcares.com right here on the lunch break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-605-1681. 800-605-1681. That's 800-605-1681.
All right, y'all, we are back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and
Let's get it. Lunch break crew. What's up with it? Let's get it.
Todd say working on his kappa shimmy out there, brother. You got to cross them burning sands before you really learn how to shimmy. It gets in your spirit after you pledge and after you cross the burning sand. Well, after your check clear, you pledge you cross the burning sands, then you'll know how to shimmy for real. I'll teach you how to work that Kappa cane. I used to be a cane master back in the day. Now I'm fibbing. My roommate Delano Burton was a cane master. Hey, El Michelle. I was in the line. I was in the line. I was in the line. Hold on, y'all. Jamal Morris is a young man that I love like breathing. I love this dude like breathing. Now, he was a New England Patriot fan, and I think what he is now is a Tom Brady fan because he said something about Tampa Bay going to the Super Bowl. So I think he's a Tom Brady fan. But then he had the nerve to say, I can't watch with you wearing that New Orleans shirt. Huh? Wait, what? Bruh, please. You'll find young man Jamal, and I love you for free. I want you to see the best in your life. I want you to see the very best in your life. And that's the New Orleans Saints. You know, America loves the Cowboys, but God loves the Saints. Tom Brady got all those rings, but the Saints got all that love. I mean, it's just, I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for you. I'm praying you get the good Lord in your life. I'm praying that you get get the Saints and the good Lord in your life, because, bro, you off track. You off track. Speaking of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, the most recent playoff projections are out. The most recent playoff projections are out. And after this weekend's games, here's what it's looking like right now. Here's what it's looking like right now. All right, so the Kansas City Chiefs are 14-1. By God. Kansas City 14-1. They are the number one seed in the AFC. And I think they've clinched that because there's only one game left to play. So, yeah, they have clinched the number one seed in the AFC. Number two, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all had them written off for dead. Y'all done buried them. Y'all done gave the eulogy. You had somebody sing, I'm going up yonder, and they not going nowhere. They are back. You know, Ben Roethlisberger and them brought them all the way back, and they knocked off them Indianapolis Colts, beat them like they stole something. So the number two seed right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Buffalo Bills play tonight. And if Buffalo wins, I think they will move into that number two seed because they beat Pittsburgh head to head. But Buffalo's at number three. And number four, the Tennessee Titans, who, by the way, got their behinds beat last night by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that game wasn't as close as the final score was. So question is, what's Tampa Bay looking like heading into the playoffs? That's what we need to know. Ryan Fitzpatrick came in and saved the Miami Dolphins season. They are at the number 5 spot at 10-5. The Baltimore Ravens done snuck in there. Remember what it last week when somebody was telling me that Cleveland was going to win the AFC North? Remember somebody was trying to tell us that? Oh, Cleveland's going to win the AFC North. Cleveland couldn't beat the Jets. Cleveland couldn't beat the Jets. So Cleveland is now trailing Baltimore in the AFC North, and they're praying that the Colts don't win their final game and that they don't lose their final game, because if the Colts win and the Browns lose, the Browns are out of the play. Can you imagine? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me pull my glasses off, rub my forehead real good. Cleveland fans on everything I love, Cleveland fans, on everything I love. Let me go old school. I swear for God. Man, for real though. I mean, like a big dog. Let me try and pull out every old thing we used to say. Like a big dog, man. I mean, man, I'm for real. I ain't playing no. You wrong for that, yeah. Hold on. Remember when you put ski on everything? Listen. Brown skis, listen, I'm hoping with the hope of Job. Who was known for hope? Was Job? Was Abraham? Who was the hoping person? With the hope of Job and Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. I hope y'all don't lose your last game and the Colts win their last game. Because if y'all have this whole season like y'all finally had it, where y'all finally had a winning record, and y'all win 10 games and don't miss the playoffs and don't make the playoffs, Willie Gibson, I see you. I ain't talking to you right now. And here's the kicker. It's one thing to win 10 and don't make the playoffs. It's another thing to win 10 for the first time in a decade. You know what I'm saying? You ain't won 10 games since y'all played in Cleveland. And you know. But you also lost to the Jets. You feel me? On top of you missed the playoffs, even though you won 10 games for the first time since my mama was a little girl, and you lost to the Jets. Yeah, y'all got to go in hiding for a while. Y'all got to go in hiding for a while. Like, y'all can't say, yeah, but we had 10 wins. No, you can't. No. You lost to the Jets. You missed the playoffs. This is the first time you had 10 wins since my mama was a little girl. That's crazy. Cleveland fans, how y'all gonna blow this? How in the world do you blow a 10-win season? I don't get it. Cleveland go Cleveland. Cleveland is going Cleveland. And as a Cincinnati Bengal fan, native, it gives me great joy and pleasure to see this happen right before my very eyes. It's almost like 2020, it wasn't worth it, but this is a good way for it to go out. If y'all don't make it, I promise you, on everything I love, I'm going to treat it like it was a 2-win season. I'm going to eat y'all up. So for the sake of your children and your grandchildren and the world itself, I need every Clevelandite to get together and to mentally go until the Cleveland Browns win that last game. Because I think if y'all win and they win, y'all are in. I think that's how it goes. But if y'all look, who does Cleveland have? Man, this is just too good. This is just, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I'm not going to tell you who y'all got because I know y'all know. Uh-oh. Cleveland, I hate to break it to you. I got to get Sybil Wilkes on. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on with the COVID-19 update. And then I'm going to break it to Cleveland, who they got in the final week and who the Colts have in the final week. And I'm going to let you decide. We'll be right back right after this. Here's Sybil Wilkes right here on the lunch break.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. The coronavirus stimulus bill, negotiated by his own team, sat on Donald Trump's desk until Sunday evening. After days of tweeting and protestations, Donald Trump signed the coronavirus stimulus package. While many Democratic legislators say the $900 billion package did not go far enough, they agreed it just needed to get done. The bill currently includes $600 checks and extends eviction protections and keeps the government running for the better part of next year, not just on a piecemeal basis. However, by not signing the legislation by Saturday night, 14 million Americans have lost unemployment benefits with the expiration Saturday night of 2 federal programs. Sunday morning, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders suggested Donald Trump sign the bill immediately, and then legislators will get to work on providing more. What you need to know is brought to you by Black Voters Matter. Visit blackvotersmatterfund.org for more information. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and hey.
The lunch break, where sports are the special of the day on the legendary KYOK.
Y'all remember Vogue? Y'all remember Vogue? What was that one dance that you were glad to see go? That one dance you were just glad to see go. The Running Man was definitely one. The Robot And I wasn't around when it started. It's just when somebody showed it to me, I was like, they used to do that. I was glad that they stopped. What else was it? The Running Man and the Robot are the two that I have. The Snake. The I was like, what are y'all doing? Stop that. That's you're gonna hurt yourself and you're embarrassing me. What dance was it that you were glad to see go? Like you were the I'm not gonna do that, and I want everybody else to stop doing it too. Which was that dance? Keith Hennig, I know you're gonna come up with something crazy. I already know you're gonna come up with something crazy. I just know. I just already know. So anyway, okay, let me hit the top of the hour. We'll be right back with more after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. What is this? That is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Here it is, right here.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how do we the Miami Heat of football? Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't you disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Let's go. Let's go. By God, let's go.
We ready. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out. It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, game's not over. That's the first hour on the book, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday, and as you can tell, I'm not in studio today. Won't be in studio probably this week. Don't tell anybody yet. But yeah, we'll keep the show going, though. The show must go on, so we'll keep it coming. I want to shout out to our engineer, Nicholas. Nicholas making things happen on the legendary KYOK AM 1140 and the all-new 92.3 FM Conroe, Houston. We appreciate you, Nick. Thank you, man. Couldn't do it without you. And then I want to thank my program director for allowing me to do this and get this in while I'm at the Casa. Man, Willie Gibson, bro, what's going on? Willie, seriously, man, if you get a chance, call me, Willie, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005, because I'm really looking at this scenario here. And the Cleveland Browns have the Pittsburgh Steelers in their final game. Cleveland has Pittsburgh in their final game Sunday at noon. It's in Cleveland. But I don't think that matters, because here's the thing. Pittsburgh is going to be playing for that number 2 seed, because Pittsburgh don't want to play. They don't want to play the Ravens. They want to play the Colts or the Browns. 832-403-5005. Willie, yeah, the Steelers don't want to play the Ravens. They want them Browns or the Colts. So Pittsburgh is going to try to do everything they can to knock that one out early. We got Willie Gibson here. He's joining us. Willie. Willie. Him. Willie.
Yes, sir.
What y'all gonna do, bro?
Y'all is me in my house, or y'all is which one?
I'm talking about them. You and them Browns. What y'all gonna do?
First need to get everybody off the reserve COVID list.
Yeah, but
foremost.
Willie. Willie.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
That ain't no excuse. Y'all the Browns. Y'all can win with folks on COVID.
No, it's no excuse, but it's clearly a double standard when you look at how is it that they're on the plane. They're actually boarding the plane at 2:45 on Saturday, headed to New Jersey, and a positive test comes down. So everybody off. Actually, no, they weren't even at the facility yet. They closed the facility when the test result came in. They did contact tracing that took 4.5 hours and determined that their top 4 wide receivers and their top 2 linebackers could not play. So instead of leaving at 2:45, they leave at 7:30.
All right.
And they arrived in New Jersey, and they had, let's see, two practice squad receivers, 3 practice squad receivers, and 1 receiver that they just signed 6 days before.
I'm not laughing.
No, I say that to say you've had other franchises have games postponed, moved, rescheduled, those things had taken place, but for this team it wasn't. And by no means, we've discussed this. I'm not a Browns fan. I just look at situations as they are.
Yeah.
And how was it that this game was allowed to continue when others were given okay, they were going to play on Sunday, let's play on Tuesday.
So we got Willie Gibson joining us, broadcast journalist from The Ohio State, covers the Buckeyes, the Big Ten, and the Cleveland Browns. And Willie, I think now y'all know where y'all stand. Pittsburgh, reschedule it. Baltimore, reschedule it. Denver, you got to play. I don't care if you ain't got no quarterback, you're going to have to play that one. Cleveland, I don't care if you got no wide receivers, figure it out. We'll see you Sunday. I mean, at least you know where you stand. Sometimes bad news is better than no news.
Yeah, it appears to be that way. It appears to be that way. And the thing about it, only one of the players that are on the list have COVID. I've discussed this. It's interesting to me that linebackers who tested positive, but yet do contact tracing for receivers were deemed to be in close contact. But all linebackers were okay. I don't understand the contact tracing. I'm not casting aspersions on anyone. It seems odd to me that how is it that a linebacker tested positive, but the receiver room is who these have close contact, and none of those players have tested positive.
Yeah, but they
I don't know. I mean, it's
Willie, they were trying to hang out with the big dogs. That's why they were trying to hang out with the big dogs.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Yeah. So now, actually, what the pulse is in Cleveland is how much sweeter it would be now to clinch the playoff spot by beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 17. So the thing about Cleveland, I mean, you got to understand this team 51 weeks ago was in disarray. So the fact that they won 10 games for the first time since 2007 is a victory in and of itself. Now, granted, they want to seal the deal. They want to finish the course and make the playoffs by all means. But, however, in some eyes, the victory's already been won. is the cherry on top of the Sunday, and by beating Pittsburgh on Sunday should clinch a playoff spot. First of all, they'll be playing in Week 17 for a playoff spot, regardless of the record, is in and of itself somewhat of a victory. So the fact that they have an opportunity to beat the arch nemesis to make that playoff, that's just, it's for them going to make it that much sweeter.
So we got, we got Willie Gibson joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Willie, that sounded great, bro.
It did.
And I'm going to try to remember that when I go in on those Browns next week. I'm going to try and remember every bit of that when I go in on them and I talk about how 10 wins might as well have been 2 wins because you still didn't make the play. It's like Golden State, that 73-9 ain't got no shine because you forgot something when you didn't win that ring. You can't make it work, Doc. You can't make it make sense if you do all that and you don't hit some kind of pay dirt. Like you can't, well, at least we had 10 wins and, they cheated us. You can't do it. You just can't do it. Not with me around. You just can't.
Hey, did not you just tell me you were a Bengals fan before I called it?
I did. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it just gives me great pride and joy and immense pleasure to be able to just one more time be able to let Cleveland fans know you are Cleveland and we're not. It just one more time. It just doesn't hurt.
At 4-10-1. That's great.
But listen. Y'all might as well be 4-10-1 too, because we in the same place. We on the same sofa watching the same playoffs at the same time.
No, I couldn't say that.
Woo!
And then the other part of it is, from what reports, Pittsburgh is sitting everybody on Sunday. Ben, Juju. So Juju don't want to dance on 50 on Sunday. By the time I have a little conversation about that, so he won't be dancing on the 50 anymore. But
Okay, hold on now. Hold on. Let's talk through this now. Willie, let's talk through this real quick. So you talk about the Steelers gonna sit everybody, even though they're trying to play for that number 2 seed. They're gonna sit everybody. Well, y'all played the Jets Sunday. Like they sit everybody every game.
Nah, that's the biggest misconception in sports. I mean, those guys, people tank. Players don't tank. Coaches don't tank. Organizations, front offices may tank, but I mean, those guys get paid. Those guys picked up envelopes at the pay window today too. Those guys weren't tanking. Those guys played. And again, I don't care who you are. You go into a game. You practice all week. You prepared all week. You have your game plan. That you're boarding the aircraft, and you're told your top 4 receivers can't play. I mean, that's going. That's just what it is. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow, and they did what they could, and they still had an opportunity to win. Oh, and also they had to the left side, actually the right side of their offensive line was out as well. And if you look at the game, Nick Chubb, he couldn't get going. I mean, that offensive line was ready. I mean, things may have been called a little differently. I don't know if they should have thrown 53 times. That's pretty much and that's funny, the fickleness of a Cleveland fan. They had calls for Kevin Stefanski to be fired today after the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at Colin Cowherd on Fox Sports 1 now, and Baker got the skull cap on with the skull on the side of the cap, and they're talking about Stefanski not running the ball versus trying to throw to all these no-name people that you said were playing wide receiver. Keith Hennig said the Steelers will sit the starters at halftime when it's 30-3. Willie, don't answer that. Let me take a quick break. And then I'm going to come right back to you. We got Willie Gibson joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. And let me get on here real quick, Lily. Let me get Lily on here real quick, the tax doctor, and we'll be right back with Willie Gibson right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. All right, Lily's not working the way I need Lily to work, so let me just come back to Lily on my next break. I think because I got Willie on the phone, it won't let me do what all I'm trying to do. So we'll come back with Lily and the tax doctor and all that. Willie, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Lily didn't want to do her thing. So, quick question. Quick question.
Yes, sir.
So, Cleveland misses the playoffs by some strange imagination. What's the fallout?
We gotta upgrade the defense. We talked about that several times this year when we not discussed it. The defense, the linebacking core, and the safety position by far have to have tremendous upgrades. They weren't. I mean, so Woods did what he could do. I mean, they lost Grant Delpit, rookie from LSU. First day of camp with an Achilles tear, so that threw a wrench into the program of the plans of what they wanted to do. So they had Sendejo, they had Carl Joseph. Carl Joseph has done well. Sendejo has been a bit of an issue. You know, he signed as a veteran leader, not really expected to play a lot, but when Delpit went down, that pressed him in action a little bit more than was anticipated. So Greedy Williams, corner, went out, which, I mean, we've heard his nerve damage in the shoulder in camp. He's been out all year. So that put, again, another wrench in the program. But defense, they just need improvement. So you got to start the linebackers. And they did what they could this year, but you got to upgrade that position. You got to hopefully bring back a healthy Grant Delpit, and then depth on the offensive line. Because this is the year, week 15, you lost the whole right side of your offensive line yesterday. So, and the top backup got hurt last week against the Giants. So, it's got to upgrade. I mean, again, the plan, to use this term, playing with house money. I mean, the expectation this year coming into it with a new coach, no offseason, no OTAs, piecemeal training camp. If they were to win 7 games, that was to be a victory in and of itself. So the fact, again, that they're playing for a playoff berth in week 17, you always want to have those fans still that, again, like yesterday, calling for the coach's job after a loss to a team that probably many feel they shouldn't have lost to. But again, taking everything into context, fallout, it's just, better than the cap. They just got to keep rolling along, keep improving, going forward.
Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist from Columbus, Ohio, joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I hear exactly what you're saying, and again, for most of the sports world, it'd be like, well, Cleveland just did what Cleveland normally does. But this one, to me, is, like you said, one where they've got to address some things because they're really close. They're really close. They literally competed for the AFC South Championship. AFC North Championship right up to the last week of the season. And, they don't stumble against the Jets. They legitimately have a shot to win the division. And Pittsburgh needed that win. So now, playing for their playoff lives, they got to make adjustments should they fall short of the playoffs. Let's say they get in. What do you think they do?
As far as next year?
No. What do you think they do in the playoffs?
You know what? Everybody has a chance, but again, I think the victory again. They get in. I'm not sure what the matchup would be if they finish 6 or 7. I know Kansas City will have a bye, so if Pittsburgh is at 2, they play the 7th seed, and then Buffalo 3. Actually, I don't think Cleveland matches up well with Buffalo, to be honest with you. I know it's not last year, but I watched Cleveland beat Buffalo last year in Cleveland. I know it's a different year. I know different personnel. I know different coaching staff. I understand. But I think, again, everything that they said about the defense still holds true. I think that defense could be an issue for them holding Josh Allen down, but I think offensively, if you put Rashard Higgins and Jarvis Landry back out there, even if Kadero Hodge slide, that opens up enough for the running game of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It could be a very competitive game. I think they can move Buffalo.
Gotcha. It'll be interesting. All joking aside, I do hope Cleveland gets in. That'd be big for the city, the team, the franchise, all that. If they don't make it, you're going to have your doubters. You're going to have the folks, like you said, they'll be calling for the job of Stefanski, who to me should be one of the leading contenders for Coach of the Year. And in fact, I think you got two of them right in that same division with Mike Tomlin and with Stefanski. So we'll just see how it plays out. Again, they've got Pittsburgh in that final week, and the Colts have Jacksonville. So chances are Colts are going to win. Maybe not, that's why they play them. But if the Cleveland loses that game and the Colts win, the Colts are in, Cleveland's out, and then vice versa if Cleveland wins.
Right. So, and that's it's Monday, so it's still early in the week, because I heard early or late last night, early today, that Pittsburgh was considering sitting those guys, Roethlisberger, Juju, a couple of the players on defense. I don't know if it's a gift wrap, late Christmas gift for the Browns to get in. I don't know. And it's not. I say that it's just, I think it's more so that bye. This is the first year with playoff teams. Top two don't get a bye.
Right.
So
right.
Pittsburgh has to play, quote unquote, week 18 on the weekend of July 9th or 10th.
Right.
So, and given the fact that they've had those 3 games and 3 games in 12 days, or I don't remember the number, but they had those reschedules and postponements and things of that nature. They don't have that bye. I think that'll be huge for Roethlisberger. I think it was this week or year 18 for him.
Yeah. And he says he's coming back next season, which is crazy. Yeah.
Respite, that, and I think they'll maybe looking long term, versus the week 17 win against Cleveland versus let's get him right, with that elbow, give him a little time, and let's get ready for this playoff push.
Yeah. Willie Gibson joining us right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. Willie, I do have to take a break. Do you have another half minute? Because I want to talk about the bowls and that kind of stuff. If you got a second or two.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me try and take a quick break with Willie, and then we'll come right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. Let me do this. Let me try to get Lily on here again and let her tell us about the tax doctor. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
My name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called IRS, and they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-605-1681. 800-605-1681. That's 800-605-1681.
All right, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday. I want to thank Willie Gibson for calling in. I want to thank him for doing what he does all the time. And
are you being audited?
And there we go. All right, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Willie Gibson,
Yes, sir.
thank you for making time for us, man. All right, so Ohio State comes in at the number 3 spot going into the college football playoffs. Number 1 is, of course, Alabama. Number 2, Clemson. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Notre Dame. First of all, your thoughts on Notre Dame getting in after losing to Clemson the way that they did?
I think this is the year you put Cincinnati in. Never mind Texas A&M. Never mind Notre Dame. You got a 9-0 Cincinnati out there. This was the year. If you were going to do it, they probably won't make it any other year with the current 14 format. I thought this was the year Cincinnati could have got it.
Yeah, I got to say I agree with you, man. If you were going to finally get one of these guys in, this would have been the year to do it. And apparently they still didn't do it.
It's always baffling to me when we talk about Power Five, the Power Five conferences, but yet the college football playoff is the 4. It's set up for controversy. It's set up for discussion, but they simply won't go to 8, where you can put all Power 5 conference winners in, the best for 5, and then 2 at large.
Mm-hmm.
Seems simple. It is simple, but I digress.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to play, but let me see if I can get the comments that Mac Brown made on here.
Their conference schedule doesn't give them the opportunity to pass the eye test. So if it's unfair for Cincinnati or South Florida or Coastal Carolina because they're not going to be able to get in because of the system, then let's be fair to them and change the system. And I really think the group of 5 should have their own national championship. And they should have their own playoff. I think it'd be great. You see right now, Louisiana Lafayette playing, or Louisiana playing Coastal, and you start looking at Marshall playing Liberty, and you start looking at the teams in the group of 5 that have been so good this year. Cincinnati would have a chance to win the national championship, and now they get pitted with a Georgia in a New Year's Six bowl. So I think that would help us if we extend the playoffs, because usually there's 6, 7, or 8. So extend the playoff to Power 5. I would put the champions of the 5 different conferences in, and then I'd have a couple of at-large to make sure that we get the best teams in. And then I would actually have a group of 5 national championship. And some would say, well, that's not fair. Well, if that's not the case, then take the highest rated group of 5 team and extend the playoff and put the highest rated one in. But either you need a path for the group of 5 to get in, or you need to let the group of 5 have their own championship.
I got to give a lot of love to a friend, a young lady we've had on the show, Vashti Hurt, Carolina Blitz. That was a question that she asked of Mac Brown following during one of their interview sessions. What do you think about his comments, Willie, about either letting the group of 5 have their own playoffs and championship, kind of like the Black College Championship and the FCS, or what do you think about them expanding it so you put in, make sure you have a group of 5, couple of teams in there at large?
I had not heard those comments by Coach Brown, and I agree. I don't know, the group of 5 national championship is intriguing. That's something I hadn't thought about, I hadn't heard before. But by all means, yeah. Again, the expanded to 8 and put the top rated group of 5 team in. You saw what happened this year when Coastal Carolina played BYU. That was pretty much some are calling the game of the year.
Yeah.
But those teams don't have opportunities to always play those games. So why not, allow them to play their schedule, and then at the end of the season, put the top-rated group of 5 team in an 18 playoff. If they lose, they lose. If they advance,
Yeah, yeah. Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio, covering the Buckeyes, the Big Ten, and the Cleveland Browns, joining us here on Media Monday. So let's go ahead and go to the next elephant in the room, and that's the Dabo Sweeney rating the Ohio State Buckeyes number 11 in the coaches poll, and then trying to defend it because they didn't play 11 games this year, and therefore he's got Ohio State out of his top 10.
Yeah, you know, here in Ohio, Dabo doesn't get too much attention. They pretty much know what he is, and that's fine. I mean, he said that, but he actually contradicts himself because at the beginning of the season he said the exact opposite. That doesn't matter how many games you play with the year we're having, who knows who's going to play how many games. So of course you want to put the best teams in there, and I wouldn't have no problem putting Ohio State in there. He actually said, I think it was like September 3rd, someone posted the interview that he actually contradicted that statement that he made. So, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Kickoff is Friday at 8:30ish. So we'll see.
You know, and again, that's the best way and the best place to do the talking. I didn't play in the game beginning of this year when Ohio State suffered that loss to Clemson, but I felt like I did. I felt like I lost in that game, and I had that taste in my mouth, like all I want this year is Clemson. That's all I want is Clemson. And I hope the Ohio State Buckeyes have that same feeling. That's fine. What number are we? 11, 12, 15? No problem. We'll see you on Friday around 7 o'clock Central, and let's get it. Let lunch break crew, let's get it, because I need Ohio State to handle that business. If they lose, I got to treat them like the Cleveland Browns. I got to treat them like the Cleveland Browns.
It is what it is. I mean, they're in the top four. They're playing Clemson on Friday. From all reports, all players should be back and healthy. Sources, I'll say, Chris Olave was back at practice yesterday. So preparations continue. They fly out Thursday night. Interesting year. They fly out New Year's Eve for New Year's Day bowl game.
Yeah, which is not normal. Normally they get out there about a week and a half early. Yeah.
And they play Friday, and they come right back Friday night.
Okay. All right, Willie. What you think's gonna happen in the other game, Alabama Notre Dame?
I think Alabama wins. I don't trust Notre Dame's defense. I mean, the ACC. There's a reason Notre Dame's played an independent schedule for the years that they've played it, and this year they decided to join the ACC in football only for this year. I don't think they, and I'll say this and watch what happens, but I don't think they stand up to Alabama. I think Alabama wins pretty handily. I don't know about 3 touchdowns. I heard it was a 3 touchdown spread. I don't really deal with those a lot, but I don't know if they'll beat them by 21. But I think Notre Dame loses to Alabama pretty comfortably.
Yeah, well, Notre Dame's got the best quarterback in Notre Dame history playing for him right now in Ian Book. So does Ian Book do what no other quarterback other than Tony Rice and Joe Montana has been able to do?
It's hard numbers. I mean, he has the statistics, and that's fine. I mean, great fodder, great, sports radio talk show conversation. But I mean, he's decent. He's decent, but I just don't know that. I mean, you got Patrick Surtain, the second out there on the island as a corner, and I think the defensive pass rush of Alabama is going to cause some confusion for the young man, and that's on his coaches. I mean, his offensive coordinator has already been hired as the Vanderbilt head coach, and we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, man, I tell you what, the last thing I want to talk about, Willie, before we go, is why are they playing these bowl games? Why did they play the Gardenia Bowl and the Camellia Bowl and why are they playing these bowl? They had a 1-win team in a bowl game. A team with one win was in a bowl game.
Yes, it's great exposure for kids. They can travel. Bowl trips are deemed by some as educational experiences. Have the opportunity to recruit, to treat for the alumni fan base in that city to see that team that otherwise they may not have been able to see them. You can stop me at any time. Let's see. They also conference monetary considerations, probably first and foremost. And yeah.
You got it all in?
I think so. I miss anything?
I'm just so out of all the years, for them to, to use wisdom over whatever this is, because this, if it's money, then we're in a worse problem than I thought we were in. But if all the years to say, listen, we want to award the bowl nomination for the Gardenia Bowl to Coastal Carolina and Liberty, and I'm making it up because they played in something else. And we want to thank them for being, nominated to the bowl. But out of safety, we're not going to play it, and we're going to come up with something else for the players to do and for their families and what have you. But we're not going to play that. They're playing these games, Willie. They're playing them like they matter for something.
Yep, they are. Yes, they are. I mean, I guess the opposing view would say they played from September to now. Why not play one more? I'm not saying I said that. I'm saying that's what the opposition or the opposing view would say.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I get it.
I know you do.
Yeah, but no, this is why I got it, and I'm jumping around, but I got to get it in while I got you. This is why I got nothing but love for Duke on this particular issue. I'm trying to bring it up as we speak. Yeah, here we go.
Women's basketball.
Yep. Let me read it because it's so beautiful and elegant. The Duke women's basketball program will not play the remainder of the 2021 season due to health and safety concerns stemming from COVID-19. And I quote, the student athletes on the Duke women's basketball team have made the difficult decision to conclude their current season due to safety concerns. We support their decision as we have supported the choices made by all student athletes at Duke during this unprecedented time. Duke will maintain our current schedule of competition in other sports and will continue to observe our rigorous health and safety protocols, which include daily testing for all student athletes and are based on guidance from leading medical experts. Bruh, I love it.
I mean, yeah, first year coach Carol Lawson.
Yeah, who I absolutely love. Kara, if you out there and single, holla at me. But go ahead, you were saying?
I believe she's not. But,
oh, okay. All right. Well, then don't call me, Kara. Don't be trying to be in my DMs if you married. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean that's huge. That's huge. And again, that's to me has always been, what I've strived to focus on. The choices and the decision. Others have chosen to play. And if that's the choice they feel is right for them, that's fine. These young ladies have chosen not to play, and that's the choice that's right for them, and that's fine. I mean, that's great. So, it empowers them to make the decision that they felt was best for them, and they did. So kudos to those young ladies. Kudos to that coaching staff, Coach Lawson and her staff, and kudos to the administration that took that seriously and stepped by their student athletes.
Yeah. Yep. No, I got a lot of respect for them. And, of course, they were getting killed on social media. Well, I didn't know Duke women play basketball and nobody's going to miss you. And, wow, the survival rate is 99.9%, but yet these women are scared. It's like, are we ever going to honor 300 and almost 50,000 people who didn't survive this deadly virus? I mean, are they just numbers to us? Do we just act like there is no danger out there whatsoever?
Some do. Some do.
Yeah. Willie, I appreciate you as always, man. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, bro.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Please. Please.
Just curious, and with all due respect to Coach Brown, and that's usually a telltale sign that you're about to be disrespected when someone says with all due respect, what follows.
Right.
Disrespect, but it's not, I promise.
Yeah.
Just curious. The eye test. I've always heard that. The eye test. Now I know when I go to the optometrist and they, better one, better two, better two, better three.
I don't like that test, by the way. I don't like it. Go ahead.
I don't understand. That's like unwritten rules. I don't understand. Anything?
So when you talk about Coach Mac Brown and the eye test and all that, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the eye test. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either, because not only is it an eye test, but it's who's looking. Because who's looking sometimes already has their mind made up. And even while they see the greatest team on earth, they decide to go with somebody that they want to go with.
Right.
So I don't know how to fix it, Willie. I really don't. I mean, you can say, we expanded to 8, 12 teams. I think I did one year. I broke it down to 16 teams. And the way I did it, it added one extra week to the season. And that whole, the student athletes, blah, 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 blah. I patterned it right after the FCS. And we used the bowls as games for the playoffs. And it worked beautifully. It worked absolutely beautifully. And to me, it took the eye test equation out. Now, you still got the quote unquote ratings and rankings that would determine who the top 16 were. But there was some, similar to what Coach Brown said, where you got to take the conference champs as opposed to, Alabama won the regular season, but they lost in the SEC championship game. So you take Alabama and the conference champ? No. You try to take you got to have your conference champs in there, and then you take the next best teams after those conference champions. So if they get in at large, they get in at large, but that's only if there's not somebody with a better record or a better profile than theirs at large.
Understood. And the last thing, can I just give a hot take?
Yeah, go ahead.
College football playoff.
Yep.
Final four for 2021. I'll go Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and USC.
USC.
Gotta mix it up. Gotta put fourth one in there.
I agree. I'm just wondering if USC is gonna get past Oregon next year. That's all. That's the only reason why I said USC like that. Are they gonna get past?
Oregon. Yeah. No, I thought about Oregon, but Oregon loses a lot. They lose a lot this year. So and USC doesn't. So, and again, it's a hot take.
Yeah. No, I get you. So I'll see your hot take, and I'll put Oregon in your USC spot, and you know what we got on it.
Oh, without question.
Okay.
Without question.
Willie, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, brother.
Appreciate you, sir. Facebook, Willie Gibson with a Y. Instagram and Twitter, Will Gibson 7.
Will knows, y'all. Will knows coming to a podcast platform near you soon. Hey, brother, thank you for jumping in. As always, we appreciate you.
Oh, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the opportunity as always, man. Happy New Year if we don't speak before.
Oh, we will definitely speak before, but Happy New Year to you and the family as well, man.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. Will Gibson, y'all, I always appreciate him making the time to get in and to hit us up with all that kind of good stuff there. So let me do this. Let me get this segment brought to you by the care team. Let me get the care team on here real quick. And man, if you don't have medical insurance and you need it, and we all need to have it, I'm one of the millions who don't have it. what I want you to do is I want you to dial this number. It's 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377. Tell the care team representative that you heard it on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, and they will take good care of you.
As the coronavirus is ravaging our community, make sure you have health insurance. Let Care Team Insurance assist you with our free medical enrollment assistance program. Call now and see what you qualify for at 281-990-1377. There are over 13 million people without insurance that should qualify for plans starting at $0 to only $50 per month. Care Team has helped thousands of people just like you by providing free enrollment assistance. Don't be taken advantage of by people selling bad or fake insurance. Make sure you have health insurance. Let Care Team Insurance assist you. This is AJ Jones, and KYOK listeners, I want you to call now and see what you qualify for. Plans starting at $0 to only $50 per month at 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377. Or visit careteamcares.com.
Yeah, again, if you need medical insurance and you don't have it, then you want to call the care team. That number, 281-990-1377. That's 281-990-1377. The careteamcares.com is the place to be.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like a gazillion dollars, and they didn't have a gazillion dollars. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-605-1681. 800-605-1681. That's 800-605-1681.
All right, we appreciate the care doctor for giving us that message right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. I'm AJ Jones. This is our Media Monday. It is our Media Monday, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in today.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Guiding You Forward podcast presented by Mountain America Credit. Today we're talking about credit cards.
Hello.
And thankfully Jade Beckman.
There we go. All right, y'all, we are back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is Media Monday. I'll have all the bugs worked out of this tomorrow. But real quick, if you just tuned in, you don't know that Dwayne Haskins has been let go by the Washington football team. He was the number 15 or number 16 pick in the league in 2019. And just had a bunch of ups and downs with Washington. Just had a bunch of ups and downs with Washington, and I guess he got on the wrong side of things with the new head coach. I mean the coaching crew that came into Washington this year, and now he is out. So I said at the beginning of the show, I can see him going to a number of places. I can see him in the Jets quarterback room. I can see him in Jacksonville's quarterback room. I can even see him in Philadelphia's quarterback room because they got to get rid of Carson Wentz. There's no way Carson Wentz is going to back up Jalen Hurts, and which is crazy to me. Also think that he would be a good fit in the Rams quarterback room. So there's a couple of places where a guy like Dwayne Haskins can go. You know, he can go right across the state as well. He could be in the quarterback room with Ben Roethlisberger, with oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Josh Dobbs out of Tennessee, and Dwayne Haskins. That would not be a bad quarterback room there. Of course, you got to let Mason. I'm a racist Rudolph go, and I don't think that would hurt if they did that. So I think that those are the places where he would and should end up. I think those are the places where he would and should end up, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me get to this real quick. Put that on. It's going to make some noise. Let me hear you make some noise. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, man, we're coming to a close to this show. Coming to a close to this show. Let me give you a quick sports update before we do. Quick sports update before you do. The Cowboys are still very much alive in the NFC East. In fact, after beating Philadelphia 37-17, if they can win Sunday against the Giants at the Meadowlands, and then have Washington lose to Philadelphia, which is quite possible because Jalen Hurts is still balling, then the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East and go to the playoffs. Texans lost to Cincinnati 37-31, causing J.J. Watt to go off. In fact, I'm going to play J.J. Watt's comments tomorrow on Team Texas Tuesday. I got some very strong comments about J.J. Watt's comments about his teammates, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Try and get a couple of colleagues on to share those conversations with me. But J.J. Watt was saying that some players weren't playing hard enough and they have no right to be here if they don't want to play. Of course, Deshaun Watson was down on the ground injured and looked like a severe injury, but he was able to get up and finish the game. Again, they lost 37-31. They'll finish up their season hosting Tennessee Sunday at 3:25. Tonight you got Buffalo at New England, Monday Night Football, 7:15. With the win, I think Buffalo moves into that number 2 spot in the AFC. With a loss, Pittsburgh holds that number 2 spot. In basketball, I normally don't lead with the Mavericks, but what a game. My God, last night the Mavericks were up on the Clippers 77-27 at the half and went on to beat the Clippers 124-73 without Kawhi Leonard. Paul George, bro, don't talk about nobody else. Don't talk about Doc Rivers. Don't talk about your neighborhood bully. Don't talk about anybody else when you are the lead player on a team that's getting blown out by 50 heading into a half. Like, I don't mean any disrespect. I'm not going to talk about your personal issues. All I'm going to tell you is you're a professional basketball player, and bruh, that was embarrassing. That was absolutely embarrassing. The Rockets beat Portland 128-126 on Saturday. They're at Denver tonight at 8 o'clock. The Spurs beat Toronto 119-114 on Saturday, but then they lost to New Orleans 98-96 yesterday. And then we had some really good college, high school football in the state as they get closer to the state championship. So, but anyway, I want to appreciate y'all working with me on the adjustments. Al High said Clippers and started laughing. Yeah, man, I'm Paul George. I'm just like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's my comment for the rest of the year. Like, bruh, I mean it. Don't say another. Don't say another word. Don't say another word. But anyway, I got to get ready to go. I'll be back in the same location tomorrow. Y'all be sure and come back, tune in with me, and we'll wrap it up here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on to wrap things up with her COVID-19 update. Again, tomorrow, Team Texas Tuesday, we'll have some special guests joining us, and looking forward to a good show. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it except wear your mask, wash your hands for 30 seconds or more, sanitize everything around you, and be sensitive to everybody around you. And listen, give people 6 feet. Give people 6 feet. I'm going to add one more thing to this. If you're not feeling well before you leave home, don't leave home. Don't leave home. If you feel bad, you got a fever, you're congested, you're having breathing trouble, those are symptoms and signs. Get it checked out before you go out and just mix around in population, because then everyone that you came in contact with has to quarantine themselves. all because you made a bad decision. I'm not trying to come down hard on you. I'm just saying, if you don't feel bad, if you need help, man, people will bring food to your door. People will bring the stuff that you need. You can get your prescription sent to the house. It's just no reason right now to be out when you don't feel well, and you're jeopardizing everyone else's safety. And last and certainly not least, when you see that racism, kill it, not the person, but the racism. And I'm telling you, we don't have to take this nonsense into 2021 with us. And I'm telling you right now, from one person to another, I'm not putting up with the same things next year that I put up with this year. It's a whole lot of people feel the same way that I do. So, okay, be careful with that racism. It might be hazardous to your health. All right, let me go ahead and close out with Sybil Wilkes on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. The coronavirus stimulus bill, negotiated by his own team, sat on Donald Trump's desk until Sunday evening. After days of tweeting and protestations, Donald Trump signed the coronavirus stimulus package. While many Democratic legislators say the $900 billion package did not go far enough, they agreed it just needed to get done. The bill currently includes $600 checks and extends eviction protections and keeps the government running for the better part of next year, not just on a piecemeal basis. However, by not signing the legislation by Saturday night, 14 million Americans have lost unemployment benefits with the expiration Saturday night of 2 federal programs. Sunday morning, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders suggested Donald Trump sign the bill immediately, and then legislators will get to work on providing more. What you need to know is brought to you by Black Voters Matter. Visit blackvotersmatterfund.org for more information. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music and the latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing every Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. In the morning, you got Erica Campbell and Griff. Get up mornings, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then Dr. Sylvia Cole with Call to Inspire. That'll be tomorrow as well. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. We will talk to you again soon. God bless.